Hello and welcome to the evening news for Thursday, November 14, 2013. I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, GPSU hints strike action calls for 25% increase. Guyana seeks greater collaboration on mining. AFC willing to support retabling of anti-money laundering bill. Guyanese troops on high alert for Venezuela. Now for the news in detail. After a number of years of petitioning for an increase in wages and salaries for public servants, President of the Guyana Public Service Union, Patrick Yard, yesterday called on workers nationwide to stand up for their rights. Details in this report.
Yard, speaking at a press conference yesterday, encouraged public servants to stand up for their rights if they are not granted their 25% increase soon, and expressed his dissatisfaction with the government's position on the proposed raise of remuneration and earnings.
People seems to be struck out from the list. Workers seems to be struck out from the list. And I would personally like to advise those who are so insensitive to take an interest in the people. The people are responsible for giving you the mandate, and the people are responsible for the privileged positions that you're enjoying.
Yard said that the current remuneration given to public servants is an insult to the hard work of those employees who labor in the different entities across Guyana. He noted that with respect to the 2013 budget, the GPSU submitted proposals to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, for an increase of 25% and has since called on the government to allocate the payment in increments. He also pointed out that there are cases where workers who have been promoted to senior levels still collect minimum wage. President of the GPSU said that the union gave the government a 2-week ultimatum to respond to a letter which was sent to them but has gotten no response to date. The GPSU also wrote the Ministry of Labor asking for conciliation but have not been invited to reconciliation talks. The GPSU resorted to signing a nationwide petition which was sent to President Donald Ramotar containing thousands of signatures of workers from all across the country. Anara Khan reporting for the Evening News.
The government, through the Natural Resources and the Environment Ministry's Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, says it is committed to exploring ways of improving current mining practices with more efficient and environmentally safe technology. Details in this report.
Natural Resources and the Environment Minister, Robert Prasad, said that the ministry is continuing to find ways to improve the mining sector and made this comment prior to the screening of a film entitled Amazon Gold, which highlighted the impact of mercury in gold mining. In this regard, Prasad made a call for greater collaboration between South American and Amazon countries to share experiences and technologies towards suitable and environmentally safe mining practices.
We've always sought to encourage greater collaboration, greater learning experiences, especially within the Amazon area. But we've done some good work within the Guyana Shields, again, working closely with WWF. We've had teams interacting and exchanges with Suriname and French Guyana, not only looking at the issue of mercury, but also looking at how it is we can deal with the other social and environmental challenges of mining. And through ACTO, we've sought to deepen and broaden the collaboration, understanding what others are doing within the Amazon area, looking at the threats, but also looking at the challenges and how it is we can cooperate, we can collaborate, and we can deepen our work in this regard. And it's something that we will continue to build on because we need to learn from each other, and we operate whilst the geology might be different as you go in different parts of the Amazon, and what exists in the Guyana Shield is well known. Some of the social and the environmental lessons are there, and I do hope that we will see great interaction.
Minister Prasad pointed out that the government has an aggressive stakeholder approach program in keeping with the new international convention to control mercury emissions. This was signed in Japan and has an international response to the reality that mercury pollution is a global problem that no country can address unilaterally. He emphasized that the government recognizes the environmental and human health risks of mercury use and pollution, and therefore supports the implementation of a global legal binding instrument on mercury that will prohibit its production, export, and use through a planned approach. Minister Prasad expressed his appreciation to the collaboration with WWF to organize a showing of Amazon Gold for Guyana. Anara Khan reporting for the Evening News.
Guyanese troops at the border with Venezuela are on high alert after recent noises in the opposition camp in Caracas concerning Ettering Bang on the Cuyuni River. Samuel Suknanan reports.
Head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, said such interest has been noted and the joint services ranks stationed there have been put on alert.
This interest is in the context of their attitude to Guyana's Essequibo, one that is felt to be massaged in the eve of the imminent electoral process in Venezuela.
He added that the historic opposition parties in Venezuela have fed on this nationalistic overture which they feel would enhance their appeal. Members of Venezuela's legislature, he said, have undertaken to visit and have been visiting Iterengbang accompanied by the Venezuelan paramilitary.
Our joint services detachments in the location have been made aware of these planned visits, and they have been ordered to remain vigilant in the context of such visits.
According to the Venezuelan newspaper El Universal, a group of Venezuelan opposition deputies traveled to the Essequibo in defense of Venezuela's sovereignty earlier this week. The deputies departed on Sunday and headed to a city east of Venezuela in an attempt to make it to Iterengbang in the Essequibo after crossing the Cuyuni River. In September, the government of Ghana investigated the circumstances of the visit by a group of Venezuelan civilians and military personnel to Iterengbang. This landing occurred on the same day that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was on a state visit to Ghana on August 31 to hold talks with President Donald Ramotar. The 45-member group had included 6 uniformed Venezuelan soldiers, 3 ex-Venezuelan generals and other persons in civilian dress. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan.
Meanwhile, a Venezuelan national was brought before Magistrate Judy Lachman at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts on Tuesday to answer to the charge of illegal entry. Marian Gonzalez, aged 26, pleaded not guilty to the charge, which stated that on November 8 at Morawana, Northwest District, she entered Guyana by sea and disembarked without the consent of an immigration officer. According to the prosecution, on the day in question, she entered Guyana by sea in a small boat at Morawana, which is a port of entry, and did not present herself to an immigration officer. She was later arrested and charged and did not produce any documents to show she was here illegally. Magistrate Lachman gave Gonzalez the option of paying a fine of $30,000 with an alternative of 12 months imprisonment. More news still ahead. Stay tuned. You're watching Lead News. This is the Evening News. Welcome back. The Alliance for Change, AFC, today signaled its willingness to support the retabling of the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Amendment Bill, but maintained that a Public Procurement Commission must be operationalized. More from Svetlana Marshall.
Alliance for Change AFC General Secretary David Patterson said the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Amendment Bill and the Public Procurement Commission PPC are both doable. Speaking at a press conference earlier today at the Sidewalk Cafe, he said that the alliance is optimistic that steps can be taken to return the bill to the National Assembly in this sitting.
The party may be willing to consider the suspension of the standing orders of the National Assembly in order to facilitate the bill being brought back to the House, but must be assured that there will not be another stalemate. For this to be realized, there needs to be the operationalization of the Public Procurement Commission under the existing Procurement Act. This can be done simultaneously as a special select committee reviews the amendment to the Anti-Money Laundering Bill.
According to Patterson, Guyanese should be able to benefit from the protection offered by the PPC and a stronger anti-money laundering legislation. The AFC made it clear that the PPC must be put into operation and financed before AFC gives its support.
The government submits their nominees to the PAC. That can be done tomorrow. Right now there's 7 nominees, 5 from APNU, 2 from from the AFC. I don't know how many nominees the government have, if they have any, right? However, that body will sit, it's like a job interview. That body will sit on their own rules and their own deliberation and select the 5 best suitable persons out of the pool of nominees. It then goes to Parliament. The 5 persons are elected by Parliament by 2/3 majority. This is the sequence in it. The President then appoints them. Then we have then the Minister of Finance pass a financial bill to ensure that there is funding for this group, so therefore you just don't appoint them, right? And that can all be done. It can all be done within a short space of time.
According to Patterson, AFC is in the process of contacting the ruling People's Progressive Party CIFIC and the Partnership for National Unity. However, he made it clear that the passage of the anti-money laundering bill is highly dependent on the PPP, noting that the ball is in their court. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
Cane harvesters attached to the Rose Hall Estate Providence on Wednesday downed tools in a protest over a proposed 1% wage increase and also criticized their union, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, for being quote-unquote sellout. The workers represent almost half of the field workers attached to the estate. They marched from Providence on the east bank of Berbice. Police later cordoned off the area and diverted traffic as the workers demonstrated. P-Gang representative Carlton Austin said they are dissatisfied with the proposal which had been offered to them. He says workers understand that the company might be cash-strapped, but workers will not settle for a 1% increase. However, despite this claim by the company, it is still able to pay some of its management staff huge salaries, including auditors at the sugar company. He is of the opinion that the workers' demand for an 8% wage increase is reasonable, given the fact that initially they were pushing for a 12% increase. The Ministry of Home Affairs said it supports the Guyana Police Force in its policing arrangements for the holiday season. During this period, there will be increased commercial activities, including an increase in traffic, and these efforts by the Guyana Police Force are all aimed at ensuring that citizens and visitors carry out their activities in a safe and secure environment, the ministry said in a statement. The ministry is urging citizens to be security conscious at this time, safeguard their residences and personal properties, and report any suspicious activity in their neighborhood to the nearest police station. The ministry is also seeking the cooperation of citizens in ensuring the success of these arrangements that are currently being implemented. The ministry takes the opportunity to laud the efforts of the Guyana Police Force and wish all Guyanese a safe and hazard-free holiday season. The Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, with support from the Mexican government, is hosting a visiting zoo expert from Mexico from November 11 to 15, 2013. Facilitated by the Mexican Embassy in Guyana and coordinated by the ministry's Protected Areas Commission, the visit is the first step in a planned long-term technical cooperation between the two countries. The expert, Dr. Enrique Mendoza Salazar, is the Deputy Director of Mexico City Chapultepec Zoo, the largest zoo in Mexico. During his visit, Dr. Mendoza will provide advice and training in the areas of animal nutrition, health and treatment regimes, education and awareness, enclosure design, and cage enhancement. Through this partnership, it is expected that the zoo's personnel will be equipped with new skills and techniques to better manage the facility and care for its animals. By strengthening local capacity, this technical support will bolster the recently developed Zoo Master Plan, which for the first time outlines a long-term vision for the modernization of the Guyana Zoo. More news still ahead. Stay tuned. You're watching the News. This is the Evening News. Welcome back. The search for a contestant to represent Guyana at Miss Guyana World 2014 has commenced via the launching of a new website. The website is symbolic of national pride, unity and empowerment, provides the latest official information on the upcoming Miss Guyana World 2014 pageant. It includes the online application for the pageant, in addition to very specific pageant details on the format of the show. The website will be regularly updated with exclusive content, features and links to important information. The pageant will cater to young women interested in sports and fitness, community development, and expressing various talents. The Miss Guyana World website will serve as an interactive information center for all Guyanese, the diaspora, and stakeholders interested in the Miss Guyana World 2014 pageant and community development. Sponsors spotlight, pageant details and other related announcements will be consistently updated, especially as the pageant deadlines draw near. 18 nurses from hospitals across the country are now certified in neonatal and fetal management. Vanu Manikchan reports.
The trainings were done in 2 programs, neonatal resuscitation and fetal health surveillance in labor, from which the nurses were given Canadian recognized accreditations. The nurses were given materials to read in preparation for the online examinations which were done last week. At the graduation ceremony, facilitator of the trainings, Canadian nurse Vernie Ali, said that she is honored to share her knowledge with the nurses who proved their worth by attaining 100% passes in the exams. Ali noted that despite various personalities, the nurses managed to work as a cohesive team.
We need to keep the 2 programs going to help enhance the knowledge and skill of the nurses. It's always ongoing, it's just not one-time things to do. We also have to work towards empowering the nurses to become instructors of the program, because I can't be the only one doing it. And I've tried recruiting other nurses and nobody is coming forward. So I would like to hear from you people who would like to start doing it with me.
She urged the nurses to recertify themselves at a specified time in order to keep up with the advancements in the programs. Meanwhile, coordinator of the trainings, the Vice President of Guyana Burns and Healthcare Charitable Foundation, Pamela Harak, said that her foundation is proud to provide these trainings and to know that the nurses are capitalizing on the opportunity.
This is the 3rd time we're here doing the neonatal resuscitation program, and it is the 3rd time we've had 100% of all your nurses passing. And we're very proud to be part of this. And we will continue to do it until you take the ownership of having your instructors get qualified and start doing it, and we will come still and help you to continue.
GPHC's Senior Departmental Supervisor, June Cato, expressed her happiness at the continuous success of the nurses.
I would like to charge the graduates to put into practice the things that you've been taught and to share with your colleagues. We can't have everybody come to do training, but as Miss Ali says, she needs somebody to assist her, and I'm hoping that out of this group, somebody is going to volunteer to be able to be her assistant at her next visit next year. So I would really want to encourage you again to put into practice neonatal resuscitation and fetal surveillance during labor. Is really important to our mothers and to ensure that we have a very good outcome at deliveries.
The newly certified nurses are from Linden, Saudi, New Amsterdam, Skeldon and Georgetown hospitals.
The popular Trinidad and Tobago-based furniture store American Stores will be opening here this month. Samuel Suknandan tells us more.
The American Stores plans to open 2 branches on November 29 at Regent and Cummins Streets and another at Durban Street, Georgetown. General Manager of the Ghana branches, Austell Ogle, told media operatives at the launch today that it will bring a unique brand of furniture items to the Guyanese market.
In the shortest possible time, aims to become a significant manufacturing hub for the American Stores Limited. This venture will satisfy local expansion in, but not limited to, Georgetown, Linden, Essequibo, and the Quarantine, and further afield.
He said that while the store originates from Trinidad, it will be looking to extend its products and services to other countries within the region, thus the reason for them opening up here.
In Trinidad and Tobago, the American Stores Limited is amongst the industry leaders, making sterling contributions to that economy as a private sector entity and pursuing an active agenda in the community.
The store will have a 3-day opening launch starting on November 29 into December. It will include live entertainment featuring local and regional singers. In addition, the stores will be hosting a prize drawing for members of the public to win fabulous prizes that includes a refrigerator, television and bedroom set. Local artist Adrian Dutchin will be partnering with the team in creating a jingle for the store's opening. At today's launch, the media was treated to lunch and presented with coupons that value 25% discount. American Stores was opened in Trinidad in 1950. It currently has 13 branches there and plans to expand to other parts of the Caribbean in the next few years. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan.
In the courts, 42-year-old Gary Johnson from Danielstown Village on the Essequibo coast was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment after he was found guilty of break and enter and larceny. He appeared before Magistrate Sunil Scars at the Anna Regina Magistrates Court on Thursday, where the sentence was handed down. According to reports, on November 5, 2013, Johnson was drinking at Balram Singh Liquor Store when he allegedly stole 1 diamond ring, a cell phone and $5,000 cash. The cell phone and ring were recovered. However, Magistrate Scars found Johnson guilty of the act and therefore sentenced him to 2 years imprisonment. Johnson was not represented by an attorney. In case you've just joined us, you are watching the Evening News. Stay tuned for sports, sponsored by Macorp after the break. Welcome back to the Evening News. Now for a look at sport in the headlines. India in command in Sachin's farewell test. Police ahead at Inter-Service Athletics Championships, and Tiger Sports supports Enmore Cricket Club. Now for the details. We start off with some cricket news. Sachin Tendulkar finished the opening day of his farewell test appearance on 38 not out as India reached 157 for 2 in reply to West Indies' disappointing 182. Tendulkar, playing in his 200th test on his home ground in Mumbai, was given a rousing reception by the 32,000 crowd when he came to the crease in the evening session with India on 77 for 2. West Indies spinner Shane Shillingford has struck twice in 3 deliveries to get rid of Indian openers Shikhar Dhawan 33 and Murli Vijay 43, prompting the highly anticipated Tendulkar arrival. The Little Master, as he's fondly referred to, added an unbeaten 80 for the 3rd wicket with Cheteshwar Pujara, who ended the day on 34. Earlier, West Indies was skittled out in only 55.2 overs, with the left-arm spinner Pragyan Ojha taking 5 for 40. Opener Kieran Powell top scored with 48, while Shivnarayan Chandapal, playing his 150th test match, made 25. Locally, the Enmore Community Centre Cricket Club on Sunday benefited from the benevolence of one of its members who donated a mobile scoreboard to keep spectators up to date with scores at the venue. Details in this report. At a simple presentation ceremony, Managing Director of Tiger Sports of Enmore Old Road, Sheikh Mohammed, presented a mobile scoreboard to club captain Bimraj Ramkelawan in the presence of several young members of the club. Mohammed, the former national wicketkeeper batsman, is a long-standing member of the club, and the left-hander said he saw the need for such an equipment since it will help to keep spectators abreast with scores and games being played at the Enmore Community Centre.
For a while now, for years now, we haven't had an active scoreboard. So I think it's becoming very useful, and it will keep you intact as to what's going on during the course of the game. So I think it will be very useful for us, and the players will benefit from it too.
Responding on behalf of the club, Ramkelawan thanked Mohammed for his kind gesture, adding that the former national cricketer has always been supportive of Enmore cricket, more so since the club was resuscitated in February this year.
Since the resuscitation of Enmore Cricket Club, Sheikh was readily available to come on board with us, and we have benefited from his experience, having played national cricket for quite a while, and happy to have him back and grateful for his contribution.
The presentation was done immediately after Enmore won the GT&T 35 over cricket competition on Sunday by beating Fairfield by 83 runs, and according to Ramkelawan, there is a high level of talent in the club at the moment.
Since we started, a lot of these guys here haven't really played cricket before, and especially this competition here today, where it was mandatory that we had 290 players participate in all the matches. I'm happy to say that we had 6 in our game here today. On a previous game we had 7, so some progress or a certain amount of progress are being made at the moment.
The mobile scoreboard was used for the first time last Sunday, and it will be in use again this Sunday when the Enmore lads take on a visiting Ontario cricket team in a specially arranged match. The Guyana Police Force extended their lead to 31 points when the second day of the Inter-Service Athletics Championships concluded at the Police Sports Club ground Eve Leary on Wednesday. Tristan Joseph has been following the action.
The Guyana Police Force ended on 181 points to maintain their top position against the Guyana Defence Force, who ended day 2 on 150 points. The Guyana Prison Service was third with 13 points. The Guyana Fire Service ended fourth with 12 points, while the City Constabulary finished fifth with 11 points. Meanwhile, Kevin Bailey clocked 1 minute and 57.7 seconds to upset Cleveland Ford in the men's 800 meters, sending the Guyana Police Force into an uproar. Ford clocked in at 1 minute and 58.1 seconds for second, while Tyson Bentic finished third in a time of 1 minute and 58.6 seconds. Leslin Baird threw away the men's javelin with a distance of 57.06 meters for the Guyana Defence Force, while Natasha Aldo won the female version for the Guyana Police Force with a throw of 35.85 meters. Janella Jonas completed the double by winning the female 800 meters in a time of 2 minutes and 31 seconds to outlast Carlita Atkinson, who clocked in at 2 minutes 33 seconds. Winston George and Darren Fraser won their respective 200-meter heats, while the Guyana Police Force also won both the male and female distance medley relay events to end the day on a high note. The 2013 edition of the championships will conclude on Friday at the Police Sports Club ground, Eve Leary.
The United States Anti-Doping Agency, the USADA, has offered to help Jamaica's anti-doping team because they feel the island's athletes have been, quote-unquote, let down. USADA's Chief Executive Travis Tygart said talks have already begun over a possible partnership with Jamaica. Jamaican athletes deserve a robust anti-doping program, says Tygart. 6 Jamaican athletes have tested positive this year, and the country has already been accused of losing its way on drug testing for athletes. The president of the World Anti-Doping Agency earlier this week said his organization had been aware of difficulties in Jamaica for some time, revealing one of the solutions was for the country's anti-doping team to be mentored by a more successful agency. The former 100-meter world record holder Asafa Powell, 3-time Olympic gold medalist Veronica Campbell-Brown, and Olympic relay gold medalist Sharon Simpson are among 6 Jamaicans who have been tested positive this year. Finally, some football news. The Kashif Shanghai organization received a significant boost on Wednesday ahead of their secondary school football tournament scheduled for kickoff in December. Tristan Joseph reports.
Proprietor and managing director of Mohammed's Enterprise and the City Mall, Nazar Mohammed, donated the first place prize for the winner of the tournament, which is worth $1.2 million along with trophies for the entire first place team. Mohammed noted that the longevity of the association caused him to be a part of the tournament.
We have always been associated with this tournament. I think it's 23 years now. We are a long-standing supporter, and we have decided that we'll continue despite of all the problems that surround, the football in Guyana. We will continue to support the Kashif Shanghai organization. We have donated the first prize.
Co-founder of the Kashif Shanghai organization, Kashif Mohammed, thanked Mohammed for his contribution.
We are extremely grateful to see that he's there with us. He trusts our vision about doing the whole football, and it's wonderful now that we're going to be channeling our energies and thoughts and everything into secondary schools football.
The tournament is set to run from mid-December and will conclude on January 1, according to the organizers of the event.
And with that, we've come to the end of sport. Of course, you can find these stories and many more in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times. And here's an invitation to join us on TVG Channel 28 and in Radio Guyana Inc. 89.3 in Essequibo, 89.5 in Georgetown and Barons, and 89.7 in Berbice and Unicary, Suriname. Stay tuned. Your Bridge reports are next. This is the evening news. Welcome back. Now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Friday, November 15 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Friday, November 15 at 14 hours 45 for a period of 1.5 hours. And with that, we've come to the end of the evening news for Thursday, November 14, 2013. I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching.